Got it. Reality radio done right. No nonsense, real and raw, just like you like it.
He's corrupt, he's inexperienced, and he lies.
Broadcasting from a broom closet in the Arizona Lotus Studios, it's Beef Vegan Presents.
Yo, welcome back to the show. It's Beef Vegan Presents live on Rock 102.1 KFMA, streaming worldwide at KFMA.com. Happy Friday, July 15th to you. Good morning, Rico.
Good morning.
Good morning, everyone out there listening. Thank you guys for tuning in. I was all set and prepared to have a fantastic show on this Friday. Geared up. It's going to be the first time that Herb Stratford will be in studio in weeks because he's been out and about, but he is back with a fresh batch of movie reviews for us for the podcast broadcast later. And since it is Friday and payday, I started off with, driving through, getting myself a big coffee. And I'm like, you know what? I'm going to treat myself today. Get a couple egg bites, get the protein in, feed the brain so I can have a fantastic show. As soon as I got here, met up with Rico in the parking lot, get out of my car, and there was a hole in the back, in the bottom of my bag that was holding my beverages and my egg bites. And then everything just fell out that hole.
I saw it.
You saw it.
I saw it.
You saw my dreams just get destroyed and just crush. So like these egg bites, which I was like so looking forward to, is the first thing I was going to do when I got here. Is load up on that protein, son. Do a couple push-ups, get the brain going, get the jokes flowing. It would have been fantastic. And the show would have been so good. But then I dropped them onto the dirty asphalt filled with monkeypox and COVID. I can't eat those.
You turned into a hollow shell of a man. You just stood there sad, defeated.
Crushed. Like walking in on my wife banging my best friend, crushed. That's how heartbreaking it was. That's how much I was coveting these egg bites and just looking forward to them. It's Friday. I got a routine. I'm a very but either way, so again, this was going to be part of the formula to have a fantastic show today. And now that's ruined. And so's the show. So today's show is going to suck really bad. It's not going to be a good show. It's going to be the worst show of the week. That's a guarantee now.
All because of some protein.
Yeah, I need that protein, son. I'm
so sorry.
I'm angry. And yeah, of course, I read the news every day. And you would think I get outraged by the news. And I don't. I'm numb to it. But you take away my egg bites, my delicious protein in my belly in the Friday morning.
I think we should go back after the show and see if they'll give you some free ones if you tell them a sad story.
They won't. Yeah, and that's another thing. I'm out $5. I hate wasting money. It's my biggest pet peeve. Growing up not having money and still not having money, wasting $1 is like it's like robbing me. Like it's taking a piece of my soul. Like in the Avengers Endgame, or when they snap the finger.
Wow, yeah, that's intense.
Yeah, and they turn to ashes, like little pieces. Every single time I waste $1, a little flake comes off of me. I'm just going into the nothing. And that's what I feel right now.
You just got to trick your mind into like it was a good thing that happened. Like when you had a pet die when you were a kid, they're like, oh, it's off on a farm, happy somewhere.
No.
Your egg bites are on a farm. Happy.
My parents never did that to me growing up. I wish I had that fortune. No. They're like, hey, your pet cat Cookie died.
Dead.
Yeah, I saw it. Got ran over, splat on the road. And then the person who ran it over was like, what was that? Popped it in reverse, ran over the cat again.
Wow.
Yeah, here's your flat cat. And by the way, there's no dinner tonight. I dropped it on the ground.
Exactly. See, they prepped you for this moment.
Yeah, well, it still doesn't get easier. Still
doesn't.
Scarred.
I'm sorry.
Still getting punched in the face. I mean, even a UFC fighter doesn't enjoy getting punched in the face, even though they get trained to be punched in the face.
Right.
I know this. I've talked to them.
I've been punched in the face.
And I have been punched in the face. You don't get used to it. And today, life just punched me in the face. So the show's going to suck.
Fair warning.
Yeah. It's not even fair warning. That's what it is. Turn it off today. You got nothing to listen to. I mean, I got music to play. That's cool. You can win tickets too, but it's still going to suck.
Yeah.
Everything's going to suck. I'm so angry.
It's okay.
Hangry is a real thing. I actually just saw a study earlier this week say like 67% of people feel the effects of being hangry. And it affects relationships too. So, you guys got to look in retrospect and be like, hey, the time that I'm fighting with my significant other, was it before dinner or after dinner? A lot of times it happens before dinner. It's when the people are hangriest, they are the angriest. And that's why the name is hangry. But I'm not here to teach you that. I'm here to do a terrible job at this show. So let's go. 600 KFMA, 600-5362. Why did I just give out that number? Well, I have a pair of tickets to give away to start off for Dia de las Luchas. That's happening August 13th at the Rialto Theater, and that's independent wrestling at its finest, a rock and roll wrestling show at the Rialto Theater. The last one that they did sold out. It's a great time, and if you want to go, call her 10 right now, 600 KFMA, 600-5362. All you got to do is say, hey, this show sucks, and you're going to get a pair of tickets, because telling you what, this show's going to suck. Morning Morons coming up next, and it's going to suck. Stick around. Rock 102.1. Oh, yeah. You guys are on. What's going on, guys? Live on a podcast broadcast. Only got a couple minutes here. Got 55 seconds. And then I guess we got to be real quick because I have a long commercial break. And then we're just going to keep the conversation moving. Keep all your yos coming in the stream. I'll let people know we're on the stream as well. And good morning, Anthony. Loving your comments. Good morning, Fred. Of course, welcome back, Herb Stratford.
Hey,
it's been a minute.
Hey, it has.
Yeah.
Had a little bit of dance with the Rona.
Yeah.
And then you were off, so I missed. It's been like 3 or 4 weeks, man.
Yeah. It's been about 3 weeks, dude. Yeah.
Long time in radio.
I know. Hold on. Well, I mean, there's a lot of catching up I want to do. I got some questions to ask you about stuff that's already been out just to get your opinion on because I didn't get to.
Yeah.
And then, of course, we'll talk about all the things that are coming out this weekend, which we're stoked about. And then I got trolled on Facebook. I'm going to share that as well.
Oh, yeah?
Kinda. I mean, I have a guy who's just angry. I'll tell you about it here now.
I took that
Rock
personally.
102.1 KFMA. Welcome back to Beef Vegan Presents. It's the podcast broadcast. We started a little bit early. We got film critic Herb Stratford in studio, unfortunately. Good morning, Herb. It's been a month.
Yeah. Did you enjoy your time off, pal?
I did. I feel younger, so we're going to be talking about all the things that are coming out this weekend, whether it be your streaming services or to the movie theaters, what to look out for, what to avoid with Herb Stratford, and keeping the conversation moving on the podcast broadcast. But real quick, I got to shout out my buddy Gino on the Facebook page. I asked a question, and I'm going to share those responses later in the podcast broadcast. What are your deal breakers when it comes to dating profiles? Gino wrote, KFMA used to be so good. Now they're just garbage. I was with you guys for 9+ years. You're lame now. He spelled that wrong, by the way. See ya. And whenever we get complaints, it's usually with a misspelling of some sort.
It's shocking.
Odd. So we'll miss you, Gino. Never even knew you.
See ya, Gino. We miss you.
Bye-bye.
Yeah, keep those troll comments. You can troll Gino too and let him know that we won't miss him on our Rock 102.1 Facebook page. We'll have more with Herb Stratford, or join the conversation on youtube.com/beefvegan or the very same Facebook page I just mentioned. The podcast broadcast is live and now. Clear. All right. Yeah, I mean, that's how sensitive and butthurt I get.
Yeah, I mean, that wasn't even really hardcore. That wasn't like you didn't bring your mother up or nothing.
That's
I
commented. Well,
because
I commented. Well, I commented. It was just like, because of this question, bro. Did that question on the Facebook page make this station lame?
No. He was just looking for an excuse to interact.
Right. Okay. Well, I'm glad that the algorithm said, "Hey, Gino, remember you hate these fucking guys."
I know. I just like the image of some guy like in a tank top, white beater thing. Just like, that's it.
That's
I'm
it.
done with KFMA.
I'm out.
Yeah.
I'm out. I'm
Last straw.
Yeah. I mean, did it trigger you? Are your deal breakers like, you're not getting swipes there, Gino? I mean, all these things.
Maybe his mom hadn't brought down his sandwich into the basement for him with the crust cut off yet, and he was upset about
See,
it.
it's a hot pocket, bro.
Yeah.
It's a hot pocket. Difference.
Yes. So, all right, let me, I'm just adjusting this real quick. Let's see some of the comments here. As we got our crew hanging out, all my beefers. Yo, what's up, Nick? Nick offered to bring by some food or some coffee early this morning, which I appreciate, because I started off the show telling you that the show is going to suck. Maybe Gino was listening to the show open and was just like, I remember when KFMA used to not admit that they were going to suck on a certain day.
Right.
But I was going to eat 2 egg bites today, right? Because it's Friday, Herb.
Oh, is that like all bets are off? You can do whatever you want.
Pretty much.
Yeah,
I like to treat myself.
Friday egg bite day.
Treat yourself.
Yeah. And I got them, and I was so ready for them, and they were great. And as soon as I got out of the car to see Rico, it turns out there was a hole in my bag.
Yeah.
And they fell out.
They fell out right onto the asphalt. $5 gone.
Oh.
Now, was the hole there the entire time, or was the hole your fault?
I guess the hole was there the entire time. It wasn't the Dunkin' Donut bag. It was a bag I brought from home. You know.
Okay.
Yeah, here's the thing. So, like, my girlfriend, she never, like, these plastic bags, whenever we go from the grocery store, or in this case, it was a Circle K. So I'm going to blame Circle K on this one. Whenever we get a plastic bag and bring it home, she doesn't throw those away, and you can't recycle these plastic bags. So, like many people, she balls it up and puts it into, like, a little cabinet underneath the sink, right?
I knew she was part Mexican.
Right.
Hell yeah.
You want to save these bags, but the problem is we've been doing it now for 2 years. It's overflowing of plastic bags, and she gets mad at me when I throw out plastic bags. But you can't recycle them, and I'm like, we don't need any more. We have 3 lifetime supplies of plastic bags. We've destroyed this environment. We said fuck the earth, essentially, and there's no turning back. So, like, let's start throwing these out. I could barely even shut the cabinet door now, because there's so many plastic bags. Do you have one of these drawers there, Herb?
Yeah, I've got I got a cabinet, and the thing is, I found, just as a cat owner, I find that I use those bags for scooping cat litter, right? And you need to double or triple bag them because they're not strong enough, right?
And they have holes in them.
But then at some point, you're just like, oh, I have 10,000 of these. What are we gonna do with it? You know what you need to do? Here's the thing.
Okay, tell me.
Don't tell her, but take an empty pillowcase, fill it up with these plastic bags, put it on her side of the bed.
Oh, okay.
Right?
So, like, it's a new pillow.
Yeah,
like,
and you know what I mean? And then it's like, the problem is then she'll wake you up because she'll be rolling around making noise with that.
Yeah, that would be annoying. Vegan Egan says, get her to start making bio bricks. Oh, okay.
Oh, that's
all right.
Yeah.
I didn't know Vegan Egan was such a hippie, but yeah, that's not a bad idea.
I think Herb's going up against the My Pillow guy now with a new business.
That's right.
It's Herb with trash pillows.
Exactly.
He's a millionaire now.
Yeah, that's not a bad idea, Herb. All right, let me ask you, did you see the new Thor yet?
Yeah, absolutely. Did you guys go see it that day?
Yes, Powers and I saw it that day.
Yeah, and I
actually, we saw it on a Thursday night, the night before.
Oh, you went, okay? Because I toyed with going with you guys, and then I was like, you know what, the wife is going to want to see it. I'm going to be in trouble and I don't know if I need to see Hemsworth butt twice.
Right.
So I think once was enough. And
so you saying it's not rewatchable to you?
No. I'm just, maybe the butt scene. I don't know.
That's America's.
Oh, come on. Nobody's going to assume you're any gayer than you are already. So
no. I'm just no. You know what? I saw it. I liked it. I still think Ragnarok's my favorite Thor movie, just because that one was just
amazing,
impossible to beat. Right?
Yes.
So this was good. I loved. Honestly, I thought that whole gods sort of scene was funny, and there was great gods there, and I loved all the work that Taika did. And so, I mean, I think the movie was fun. It was entertaining. It was better than Dark World, but it's just, it can't touch Ragnarok. There's just, Do
you think that's the reason why there's so much blowback on this latest round of Thor? Because it's a Rotten Tomato score is like mid 60s, high 60%. So it's been very conflicting, or polarizing. There's half the people love it, half the people hate it online, according to critics and just amateur reviewers and whatnot.
Yeah, I don't know. It's weird too, because Thor, people don't think about this. This is the first time a Marvel character has gotten 4 standalone movies.
Yeah.
Everybody thinks, whatever. It's like people forget. This is the 4th one. Even Tony Stark, Iron Man didn't have 4 solo movies.
Nope.
Right? So, I mean, maybe there's a little bit of exhaustion. I don't know. And then I felt like the Guardians were sort of an afterthought. I thought it was like, we got to tie this up, and we're just sort of putting them in here as a placeholder.
Yeah.
And
they kind of worry. Yeah. Obviously, people wanted basically a movie of Guardians of the Galaxy and Thor. That would have been fun.
Yeah.
That's not going to happen. That's not going to happen in James Gunn's Guardians of the Galaxy.
That would have been great.
Yeah, it would have been great. Because there is a great comedic formula there between Thor and Chris Pratt's Star-Lord. And there was a couple laugh out loud moments, but it was so brief.
Yeah, it was. Well, and that's one of the reasons, again, why Ragnarok was so great, because you had Hulk and you had that whole, hey, I know him from work. I mean, that was just amazing. So, yeah. And also, I'm sort of curious. I know Taika said he's not going to do it, but everybody's talking about, we cut Jeff Goldblum, we cut, all these things, and we cut Lena Headey. So, I mean, it's like, I'm sort of like, what would it even been more?
Talking about the director's cut. Yeah, Taika Waititi said on record that he thinks director cuts suck and he would never do one. Yeah. But this Thor was under 2 hours, which was surprising to most Marvel fans, because lately, and especially in the streaming age, right? Like all movies and big blockbuster movies are running over 2 hours now, because essentially they want to give the customer their money's worth. And we're so used to binging shows, people figured, hey, okay, what's a 3-hour movie? That's only half a Netflix series. So but to have this Thor clock in under 2 hours, and it's actually I think it's 112 minutes, and that's with the bonus scene. Yeah. So it's a short movie, but I thought it was enjoyable.
Yeah, no, I liked it. I wasn't quite sure where they were going. Well, we can't talk about the post-credit scenes. We shouldn't do that. It's too soon.
Oh, whatever. Yeah, it's on the internet.
Nerd rage.
Yeah.
Well, I was a little surprised by the first one because I'm just like, it seemed like stunt casting, to have what's his name, Brett from Ted Lasso in it. You know what I mean? And the whole thing, like, are we really going to go into the gods? You know what I mean? Are we really going to do that? I don't know. I'm more interested in the other stuff. I'm interested in, are they going to get to Secret War? Are we going to finally get a real crossover with the X-Men and the Fantastic Four, or what's going to happen? So I was a little surprised by that end, but it was good.
Yeah, well, I've been studying up on it and looking forward to Secret Wars as well and seeing how they're going to do it. But yeah, overall, I will rewatch it. But I mean, Ragnarok was the most rewatchable Marvel film beyond Guardians to me.
Yeah,
and I don't know how many times I could be able to rewatch this. This particular film, but
Secret Wars is going to be in phase 85, right? Marvel phase.
No, they're teeing it up right now.
They're trying to, but that's the thing, though. I mean, what a lot of people are pointing out is like, okay, so far we have like 8 different projects in phase 4. None of them are necessarily building or leading towards a Secret War.
Yeah,
and they still haven't introduced a Fantastic Four in this. So how are they going to just cram in Secret War? Secret War is such a massive project. You're talking Doctor Doom has to be a part of this. Has to. And there's like in the comics, it's like 30 to 40 different characters. Obviously, they could simplify that, but they haven't done anything to really lay the foundation, with the exception of introducing a new god. And
and you saw yesterday, or maybe you didn't see it, but the Russo brothers were on the red carpet for The Gray Man, which is their new film on Netflix. It's in theaters this week. It's on Netflix next week. And they were asked again about Secret War. And, these are the guys who have the number 2 and 3 movies of all time.
Yes,
right?
Endgame and
and so they were basically said, you know what, that's our dream. Is to do that, and they basically said 2 movies, which they've never said before.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I mean, and they're all coy, and Kevin Feige's always coy about stuff. But you're absolutely right, Beef. There's got to be a runway, and I don't know. Even with Ms. Marvel, and there's so many elements that they have to come together. I just don't know if they can get there. Anytime within the next 5 years.
I think you missed part of the quote with the Russo brothers that they said, yeah, that's their dream. And they grew up, this is one of the comics that they love, but also it was such an undertaking doing the Avengers movies that they don't know if they would even want to take that on.
Yeah.
And that sounds like massive. So it was almost like a good luck to whoever wants to try to do this. We know that's Marvel's plan, but dear Lord, that seems like a lot of work.
And if they can't do it, nobody can.
Right.
I mean, so that's the other thing.
Another pair of brothers directing, and takes 2.
It does. It takes 2 directors.
That's true. That's true.
That's Gabby Gifford right there that we just saw pop up on the screen. That will be the first movie, a documentary that we're going to talk about.
Speaking of Marvel, what?
Which one of these projects here that are being released this weekend are you most excited about?
Well, I mean, honestly, the Gifford's doc is great. I mean, it's super cool because she's our rep. You know what I mean? Like, and I'm not name dropping. You always accuse me of name dropping, but I've known Gabby for 25 years. So I mean, it's really amazing to see her story on the big screen, right? And to have everybody else.
You have dinner. Did you have multiple dinners with Gabby and stuff? Personal, like coffee.
He's been to a gala.
You seem like a respectable enough human being to where you're like buddies with the Giffords.
We are. No, absolutely. And we did a fun when I used to run the Fox Theater. We did a fundraiser at the Fox for Gabby. So I mean, nice. Gabby's an amazing human. So that's a great film. And also, honestly, though, Marcel the Shell with Shoes On is really a sweet movie. So,
we'll talk about that and show that because that's a very odd one. I saw the trailer for that when I went to go see Thor, speaking of which, and you saw the preview of Gabby Gifford's movie did they play that at the Loft or Rialto?
I actually saw it as part of South by Southwest. So I saw it back in March.
Okay, hipster, but she just recently showed it again here in town, right?
Yeah, and that's where it's playing is at the Loft. So you should definitely, if you're a fan, that's a and they were there, you're right, for that special screening.
Yeah, that was nice. Were you there as well?
No, I did not.
Because you already saw it. What a dick. That's my close personal friend. I want to see your documentary twice.
But Chris Hemsworth had his ass shot in that documentary too. He's like, I'm not seeing that again.
Yeah. I can't see my friend's documentary. I gotta see Chris Hemsworth's ass. You understand.
Oh, that's where we're going today. All right.
I'm just saying. I mean, come on.
I got it.
Yes. Thank you, D-Lo. Thank you, D-Lo, for we're getting trolled hard today.
We need Gino to come back in. Like, stop talking about asses.
Yeah, thank you. So that's too funny though. But I'm glad you enjoyed it enough to watch it once and not rewatch it when it's right down the street from you for free as a personal guest.
Good.
Did you get the email invite and then you just ignore it, left her on read?
No, dude, seriously, dude. I watch so much content. You can't even. It's like for me to watch something twice is like another whole. It's a whole nother thing.
All right.
You know what I mean? I got so much. I have tons of stuff to watch.
Okay, well, let me ask you this because I'm about to play this trailer. When you talk about it, are you going to look away?
I'm so sick of this.
I'm looking at something else.
On his phone. Yeah.
Oh, that's funny. All right, so yes, we got Marshall the shell that we're going to talk about with shoes on. It's a weird name, and it's a weird concept.
It is.
Yeah, the trailer made me feel like I was on a shroom trip.
Yeah,
like, am I talking to this thing?
It made me regret not doing shrooms before watching it.
I know.
Well, yeah, you have to appreciate Jenny Slate, the comedian, who I think she was on Saturday Night Live for like a blink, like one season. She's a really funny. She's done a lot of sort of indie comedy movies. And this started out as like a little YouTube sort of a goof, right? And then they put it out there and it got like, a bazillion views. So they made a full film of it.
Oh, right.
Story. So it's sort of a cool story that, like something went viral and they turned it into something cool.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like 99% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Oh, yeah. Oh, 99%. That's crazy.
Yeah, that one critic.
Stop action.
Well, it's a non-shell person, right?
Exactly. They're allergic to seafood.
Exactly. Anything to do with shells, I hate them.
I know.
Well, and the Giffords doc is at 100%. So, I mean, it's a pretty good week for a high-ranking title.
Is it that good? Is it 100% good? Or is it like, I would be a dick if I voted anything less than 100%?
I don't know. That's a good question. I mean, I feel a little too close to the story, like I said, because I've known her for a long time. So I don't know if I'm an objective person. I mean, it's a very good documentary. But it's such a story of sort of resilience and survival, and then continued dedication to public service that you're right. If you're like, I hate this. Well, this person is just like doing good all the time. I hate that. So yeah, there may be a little bit of that. It's hard to like. What really is 100%? Like, is there anything that really every single person loves? Absolutely not.
No. Not even Top Gun 2.
Not even toothpaste.
No, it's true.
And that movie was designed for everybody to like, apparently. So, all right, we got 6 seconds. Going to do a tease here. All right. Yes, you do. I know you do. Rock on a 2.1 KFMA. Dear Lord, it just, I'm looking at troll comments on the stream. And of course, it's like on standard, like all the stereotypical troll moves they would do. Happens. All right. Never mind. Don't let me get distracted.
Welcome to the internet, beef.
Yeah. We are streaming live on the internet, youtube.com/beefvegan, or any of our social media pages. Film critic Herb Stratford is going to be reviewing and giving us a heads up on a documentary that he's seen months before anyone else.
Ooh.
This hipster ass. It's the documentary about our very own Gabby Gifford, right?
Yeah.
What's the name of it?
It's called Gabby Gifford's Won't Back Down, which is pretty appropriate title. And so what's great about this movie, honestly, is the fact that it's not just about what happened to her. It's not just about when she was attempted to be assassinated, right? I mean, it would be very easy to just make a sort of a, Dateline movie about, what happened and what's his name. I'm not even going to say his name on air because it doesn't deserve to be said.
Right.
So, the thing is, it's about her as a human being, which is so cool because she is this just remarkable person that if you've ever met her or know her, she is 100% authentic and she is a public servant. And what she wasn't going to do this. She was gone. She came home to run the family business and then she got involved in politics. And she continues to this day to be an advocate, when you could have very easily been like, I'm done. I'm tapping out. You know what? I did my part and I'm done.
Right.
I mean, I'm going to go recover. But her and Mark are an amazing couple. And so it's really great to see the whole story. Yes, it's very difficult. It's very hard to watch parts of this film because it's her recovery. And Mark was in the hospital a couple of days after the incident shooting her. And, obviously they made a decision that they were comfortable sharing this footage, but it's really hard because she went from being this incredible, and she still is an incredible person, but she went from being this, she's a very different person.
So you
core,
knew her before and then after these unfortunate situation, and yeah, she's recovered, she's still alive, but there is something a little bit different than before and after, and rightfully so. I mean, she got shot so many times.
Yeah,
and to recover. So yeah, there's still.
She's an amazing human being, and her perseverance and her dedication is inspiring. And so, this is it's a little bit of a hard watch sometimes, but I think it's really important to see, and it's a testament to people standing up.
Just the fact that she's surviving. We're looking at the trailer right now, and they show one of the bullets how it went through her skull. I mean, she got shot through the head. And, this was just such a great survivor story and strength, because this is a scenario that a lot of people were put in this scenario. They just give up. They just tap out and be like, I'm done. And it seems so difficult, but yeah, also very intriguing and impressive and inspirational. So yeah, you love it enough to at least watch it once, right there, Herb?
I'll watch it again because I need to show it to my wife. I don't think she watched it. I just I have to get into the rotation of what when I have time, like over a weekend.
Okay, whatever. You could have brought your wife to the loft to see her friend in the documentary. We're gonna continue this conversation on the podcast broadcast. Also, we're gonna be when we come back, we have so much stuff to cover. And the next movie that we're gonna talk about is a movie that looked like a kid's movie, but I don't think it's a kid's movie, is it?
No, it's not a kid's movie.
All right, but it's an animation, and you've probably been seeing the trailers lately. We're talking about Marcel the Shell with shoes on.
Yep.
Yeah, sounds like a Nickelodeon feature, but it might be one of the best movies in the year. We'll find out from Herb Stratford next on Beef Vegan Presents. Don't go away. Clear. All right, that's a tease if I ever heard one.
Yeah, it sounds like you're working for Big Shell.
I'm working for Big Shell.
Not even the gas company.
That's too funny. All right, let's see. Let's get this trailer set up and ready. And then earlier this morning, we did an excellent morning moron with pictures included. In case you missed it, went a little something like this. By Anita Strauss and David Draymond on Rock 102.1 KFMA. Welcome back to the show. It's 6:16 and time for your morning moron. Let's do this. I wonder how long people are going to be using COVID as an excuse to try to get out of trouble from the law. I have another story. I mean, obviously, COVID's still a very viable thing. It's a real thing. And it's still affecting people. There's always variants, and, we're not over it yet. But at the same time, I don't know if we could use the same excuses that we did at the beginning or even mid-pandemic, as opposed to this new chapter of pandemic. And it doesn't necessarily work out. I'll give you an example. There was a man who was 42 years old from Wales named Laurie, right? That's his name. He's in Wales. Mm-hmm. He got pulled over last month for driving drunk in a van. Now, the reason why he got pulled over was not because he had a taillight out or he was swerving. It's because his truck or his van was missing 2 tires. So he's driving with 2 tires. And on the podcast broadcast stream later on, you're going to be able to see the picture. I'm going to show you, Rico. Here's the van.
I was going to say I have questions.
Yeah, the 2 tires are on the left side, of the driver's side of the vehicle, right? So he's basically driving at an angle where he's like kind of leaning in. And obviously, Sparks, you know what's happening when you don't have tires.
I don't need tires.
How drunk do you got to be to realize you're driving a van without 2 tires? Now, someone called the cops around 2 a.m. when they saw him zipping down the highway with his front and back left tires missing. And so he's driving on rims, sparks flying everywhere, smoke. I mean, it was loud, destructive. You could see exactly where he's going because it's like digging a track into the asphalt, right? So they didn't even have to Scooby-Doo find him, right? He's just like, there's the track. Yeah, follow it. Mm-hmm. Now, it turns out he blown out both tires, kept driving another 10 miles. And then when he got pulled over, he claimed he only had 2 beers, but he was twice the legal drunk alcohol limit. And now here's his excuse. In court the other day, he tried to blame driving 10 miles on 2 tires on COVID. Okay, so he tested positive the day after the arrest. Now, I'm going to go out on a limb and assume and guess that he probably got COVID in jail because that's a good place to get COVID, right? Everyone goes to jail, gets COVID. Boom, done. But yeah, he tested positive the day after his arrest. So his lawyer claimed that it made him cloudy-headed and affected his decision-making. And that's why he drove. Ultimately, the court didn't buy it. They're like, you were still twice over the legal limit of drinking alcohol.
I mean, A for effort. That's a good lawyer.
Yeah.
The guy, he's cloudy-headed.
Yeah. But again, that might have worked at the beginning of pandemic. It definitely wouldn't have worked mid-pandemic, and it doesn't work now. So the court fined him $350 to suspend his license for 17 months. So he still kind of got away with it. But at the end of the day, driving 10 miles on 2 tires drunk and then using COVID as an excuse definitely makes you a morning moron.
Oi.
That was our morning moron for the day, and there you go. Using COVID as an excuse for everything. What's up, Robert? Welcome to the podcast broadcast stream. And I was noticing, again, just going through different comments. I asked for the red flags. I know you haven't dated in forever, and you never dated when dating apps were a thing. In fact, actually, Herb, I don't know if you dated when color television was a thing.
Here we go.
Deep cut.
Yes, I did. I'm not as old as you like to pretend, but there were no dating apps. That's for sure.
And women couldn't vote either.
Yeah. So when did you when your wife was assigned to you, Herb? What's your first impression?
You'd have to ask her.
Okay.
I'm not gonna put words in her mouth.
All right. So here, the question I asked our listeners here, and it's our running theme of the day, is what are some deal breakers when it comes to dating profiles? I just asked that on the Rock 1 2.1 Facebook page. Got some comments to share. James wrote, having the same name as my ex-wife or kid. I have had names freak me out before, like my sister's name. Like I've dated a girl. My sister's name is Ashley.
Oh yeah.
So it's always weird for me to date Ashley.
Yeah, that's weird.
Yeah.
It'd be awkward.
Right. I don't think I could date a girl who has the same name as my daughter now.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So that's kind of weird. So yes, I agree with James on that one. Alex wrote, when they ask me to add their Snapchat. Yeah. Well, that's essentially, they're just a scammer. So you got to watch out for that. Annette wrote, can't be a Dallas Cowboys fan and can't drive a Hummer.
There we go, waiting for it. Yep.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Lori wrote, lying about their age, which guilty. I've done that. I switch it up just to be like, let's see if I get a couple extra swipes if I take a few years off of this old age here. Didn't work. Let's see. The Suzanne wrote a perfect one. I've seen shit like this. Said when they say they graduated from quote unquote the School of Hard Knocks, which just means they dropped out. Yeah. I'm a graduate of the School of Hard Knocks. Oh, so you got a GED? No. I'm getting around to it though.
They're always like, well, Elon Musk didn't finish college either.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, he's a good one to look up to right now.
Yeah. So Weirdo wrote, I said it before, say it again, golf, anything golf related. It's not a personality trait. You know what it is though? When guys show off golf or fishing, they're essentially showing off that they have like a sustainable income. Like they have enough money to be able to blow money on 3 hours getting drunk.
Boats and bait.
Yeah, boats and bait. I mean, showing off a boat. Honestly, that will get you swipes all day long. Even if you look like a D-Lo whosoever, the troll on there. If you have a boat, you'll still get chicks. So that's good news. Speaking of which, he wrote, the stereotypical. A guy comes in. First off, we don't talk politics on this show, on the podcast broadcast, or on the radio show. That's fucking nerd speak, right? We believe in definitely doing your homework and shutting the fuck up and voting, right? I stand by that.
Sound a little political there.
Yeah, okay. But at the end of the day, this is an entertainment show, comedy show, and we're shooting shit. So I do not appreciate forcing politics into the conversation. When a troll comes, though, it usually comes with several different things. And this is just a bad look for people who believe in these things. It's like, hey, be an asshole by yourself. Don't lump in your political beliefs, because maybe some of those people who believe your political beliefs aren't as much of a troll asshole as you, right? You're making everyone look bad. D-Lo wrote pronouns, rainbow flags, pink flags, backs to the max. So stereotypical shit. And he was the same one who made a comment about Second Amendment when we were not even talking about anything like that, except going into Gabby Gifford. All right, see, I got distracted. Let me go on to Kai Deans. Said the shirtless flexing photos. All right.
Oh man.
Yeah, if you look like a Chad. Yeah. I know. Do you want to see Rico's recent post?
No.
Yeah. It's fucking
It's not a dating
post.
profile. It was a
social media is
Instagram.
Nope. Social media is a dating profile regardless. I know it's not Tinder or Bumble. Yes. But if you're on social media and you're friends with a lot of different hot chicks you don't really know, and you post pictures and you're looking for their likes and comments, you're definitely doing a dating profile. And so
yeah, whatever.
Rico,
he's jealous. He's just.
Am I jealous?
He's jealous. Yeah, a little bit. I see him. I catch him sometime walking the hallways in the bathroom, going, "Oh, Rico, oh, so strong and handsome and funny. I can't believe." I'm like, "Beef?" You're like, "Huh?"
These are all the things I say about me, maybe and you.
Eating my egg bites. Sorry.
Off the ground.
That's what I told him. I said if I wasn't there, he'd probably do the 5-second one.
I think so.
No, not on the asphalt. I've already
That's the hard line.
Yes. I'm not trying to get monkeypox eating egg bites. Yeah. Okay. So I'm sorry, Rico.
Bro.
I'm sharing it. So here's Rico's thirst post. Ladies, this is for you.
Oh, look at that.
Yes.
Ooh.
Yeah. And now it's good though. You put a little filter on it, like, oh, this is VCR tape. It's throwback, but
yeah, little filter.
Yeah.
I definitely messed with the hues and the shading. I photoshopped everything basically.
Right. But look at those abs.
Lovely.
And he's like, former fat kid, insecure, still trying to find balance in mental, physical, and spiritual health. This is a thirst post. This is essentially like a dating profile. And it did get some hearts. Let's check out the hearts here. All right.
All dudes. They're like, "Bro, you're looking good. Doing good, bro."
No.
Doing good.
There's
some good hearts.
Yeah, there's some good hearts. Let's read.
But it's the same.
Let's read the good hearts here. All right. Shout out to Ashani. Yes. Nice heart. Thanks for the heart.
Like that one song.
Julie.
Shani.
Yeah.
Dean, Julie.
Bianca. Yes.
Mambo number 5.
Megan dropped a hard heart.
Hey,
Christina with a K. Ooh, a heart away. So Michelle
with a K.
Yeah, Michelle jumped in there. And Jimmy too. Jimmy's like, hey, I don't know what team you play on, but sign me up. So yes.
It's the same shit with like all the gym stuff. Everyone's like, you must get like all these girls like talking about your mom. It's like, no, it's all guys. They're like, dude, you're doing good, bro.
Always.
Stay up, King.
Always. Stay up, King.
Yeah.
While we have Rico's Facebook up, in case you missed it, times are tough for a lot of people. Everybody knows this.
Okay.
You know, the recession has been hitting. Inflation is at an all-time high. It's been 4 decades that the inflation's been this high. And Rico, he's a hard worker. It's difficult for him to, get things together. So he's trying to come up with creative ways to make an income. And this is what he came up with. Check this out.
Jesus Christ. That's Jason Bourne.
Rock on 2.1 KFMA. We're just checking out Rico's latest video. I shared it on the Rock on 2.1 Facebook page. For everybody, feeling the pains of recession and trying to think of creative ways to bring in income. Have you tried getting a sugar mama? I know Rico's signed up and ready to go, sugar mamas.
I'm going the Pete Davidson route all the way.
Sugar grandmama.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Knocking on heaven's door.
The older the berry, the deeper the bank accounts.
That's right.
All right, so let's get back into our movie reviews. There was an odd movie, a trailer that I saw while going to see Thor, and it was Marcel the Shell with shoes on, which essentially looked like a stop motion animation.
Stop motion animation.
Okay.
And so this is Jenny Slate. And she's, of course,
who's Jenny Slate?
She's a stand-up comedian. She's been in some movies. She was on Saturday Night Live for 1 season.
I know who you're talking about. She has big nose.
Yeah.
Yes.
Sweet
yes.
girl.
Sweet girl. Very funny.
She's very nice.
Yes.
So anyway, she made this short film, I think with her now husband, or baby daddy. Basically it made a little short film about this lonely shell, and I think it was like on YouTube, right? And it was a viral thing. It had like 100 million views or something. So they were like, oh, what the hell? Let's make a movie out of this. So it's a really sweet little movie about this shell who's voiced by Jenny Slate, named Marcel, and he lives with his grandma and their pet lint, which is sort of sweet. The pet lint is called Alan. And basically they're part of this community, and this filmmaker, the story is the filmmaker moves into this Airbnb and meets this shell and his family, and he's trying to find the rest of his family because they're missing. And then, 60 Minutes gets involved. And so it's just sort of a sweet little like pretend, documentary verite thing. But he's this little shell, and he rolls around in a tennis ball, and it's a sweet little story. 99% on Rotten Tomatoes.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
99% on Rotten Tomatoes, because I'll tell you, there's a couple takeaways that I had immediately when I was seeing this trailer. I'm like, first off, there's no just one eyeball in a shell. That's not realistic. Secondly, okay, this shell's so small, there's no way people could hear this shell speak. It's hard for me to separate. Fiction and reality.
Suspension of disbelief.
Suspension of disbelief. Yeah, like these shells would not be interviewed, and they don't have feet.
My immediate response here and Herb talk about it was just like imagining this wasn't even a movie made yet, and just him trying to sell us on the idea.
It's a pitch.
It's a little shell, and it lives with his grandma. Yeah, and it has a lint for a pet, and then it saves the world.
Right?
What the hell kind of drugs are you on, man?
Right, man. I mean, the fact that she didn't make this short, there's no way this movie would be made. Exactly. But apparently, it was so well received that they were able to greenlight it, because I can imagine the pitch would not go far.
Right?
Right?
It's a what? You want us to pay how much?
No, but that's exactly right. It's like a proof of concept, right? You know what I mean? You do a little thing, you put it out there, people like it. Yeah, awesome. So
is this movie going to prevent me from eating escargot in the future?
No, not at all.
Okay, good.
Not at all.
I can't do it, man.
Yeah.
I think maybe your daughter would dig it. I don't know.
Well, we'll see. I mean, she's 16 now and just too hip for
that's
cool
true.
stuff.
She's not gonna hang out with Dad. That's
yeah,
I'll go with you, man.
Thanks, dude.
Bro,
just keep your shirt on, okay?
All right.
We're gonna keep the conversation moving with Herb Stratford on the podcast broadcast. We have a lot more to cover, including what is coming to our streaming services that's worth checking out and what to avoid. All that more on Beef Vegan Presents. Rock 102.1 KFMA. Clear. Yeah. So. All right. Yeah, the suspension of disbelief isn't there, but 99% is nothing to balk at.
Yeah. I mean, it's funny. It's sweet. I mean, it's not. It's 180 from Resident Evil.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it depends on what you're in the mood for.
It looks like it's got some of that like weird Amelie French charm, where it's just like,
it's American.
Exactly.
So it's fake
but
French.
It's wannabe French, like Johnny Depp.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's true. Johnny Depp is
wannabe French.
Yeah, that's why he was married to Vanessa Paradis for all those years.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
That's right.
Oui. All right, so you mentioned Resident Evil. We'll talk about that right now. Did you hate it? Is it bad?
No, honestly.
And we're talking about the series that just dropped on Netflix, not the movies.
Yeah. Well, and that's the thing. So, I didn't ever play the game, so I came into the movies not sort of knowing that, right? And the movies are so hit or miss. Like either they're solid, or they're total garbage, right?
Yes.
So the idea that Netflix is rebooting this sort of concept and this world of Raccoon City and actually having it as a long form, I think there's 8 episodes, a little more time to breathe, right? You know what I mean? A little more time to character develop, whatever. Mm-hmm. So the idea is like, okay, maybe this is going to work. So I will say it's a slow burn, which I wanted more of the action, right? I wanted more of the horrific, zombie stuff, right? But the story is that basically the main guy, Lance, what's his name? Lance
Armstrong.
No, Lance Reddick. Okay. Who's a great actor. So he is a guy, he moves to New Raccoon City. He's a scientist with Umbrella. He's got his 2 teenage daughters. So then the timeline jumps between them moving to Raccoon City and then being like, this place is kind of messed up, to 10 years in the future when the whole world is like, totally, there's like 6 million humans left and like, 200 billion zombies, right? Ooh. So the great stuff is, the zombie stuff, right? There's some great creature stuff, but then the other stuff is sort of a slow burn because they're setting up these characters, they're setting up these storylines, and I mean, if they get to a second season, if that gets greenlit, nobody knows yet, then I think we're going to have more full-on craziness, but this was sort of the world building. So it got a little bit slow. It's 59% on Rotten Tomatoes. I think that's low. I think it's probably a 70s. But there's some pretty great zombie stuff going on, some post-apocalyptic stuff, and the budget's there. Like some of these movies, you're like, oh, you can tell they didn't spend any money on it.
Right. Well, Netflix spends money, that's for sure, but that's what got them in trouble right now. Speaking of show renewals, it was just announced that FX renewed The Bear, which is a great show. And, I found that interesting because obviously the entire season came out on FX. Nobody was talking about it because everybody unplugged. No one was really watching it. It wasn't until they put the entire season on Hulu that immediately everyone's like, whoa, check out this show. And every single chef, restaurant worker, past and present, was raving about this show, and it's a great show.
No, and you know, you're right. It's like FX. I don't know, like that's just a place where a show goes to die, right? You know what I mean?
It's like weird. They put out quality stuff.
I know,
yes.
but like no, like if you ask me where to find FX, I'd be like, I don't know. I got to look around. I mean, it's like not, you know, but you know, Hulu, you know, bam. You know, you're absolutely right. So,
and it's not like Hulu makes anything easy worth checking out. You know, I've already griped about this too many times where I'm blue in the face, but I still, on a regular basis, get reminded how much I hate how they bury their own intellectual property. But yeah, so I searched, you know, The Bear, and was able to look it up and burn through those 8 episodes very quickly. And it was a great show, and they did set it up for season 2, so it would have been disappointing if they didn't have a season 2, right?
Yeah.
And that's an understatement. I mean, they would have left everybody hanging.
Is it more dramatic, or is it like a comedy?
It's dramatic with comedic elements.
Okay.
It's, you know, set in rowdy base. Apparently, you know, everyone like Chef Gary, you know, was posting a bunch about the show, being like, yes, this is real life. You know, like apparently there were situations and scenes in the series that resonated so strongly with chefs that they were just screaming from the rooftops, like, fucking, this is how it is. Like they can feel the anxiety, and it's very anxiety driven, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you kind of
we should get Gary Hickey on this conversation at some point, right?
Yeah.
Call in right now, Gary.
Well, if Gary's
listening.
Well, it's Friday, so I don't know. I mean, usually I see him pop up in the comments by now, and I totally would.
Yeah.
Because
it's interesting though. They're making a show like that. I mean, there's been such like a fervor around like chef culture. I know the movie Chef about the food truck, that was a huge one. And,
this one, I mean,
just
obviously
Anthony Bourdain in general.
Yeah, and it's not just glamorizing chef life. I mean, there's a you know, there's a backstory, a family backstory. There's many layers and elements to it. But you know, the core is the restaurant experience. All right, I'm gonna answer this phone. I may regret it. We'll see. Rock 1 2.1. Who's this?
Gary.
Oh, it's Hickey. Hey, Chef Gary. Oh, perfect, dude.
Told you.
You
heard us.
Yeah. Oh, you're watching the podcast broadcast stream. Okay, so yeah. So I was mentioning
every day, bro.
Sends
out the bat signal. So
I love you, brother. Well, you see, and I'm glad that you called in, because I mean, it's because of you that I was like, oh, I need to check out this show, The Bear. And there was one scene in particular. I think you said season 7. Partway through, what like resonated with you so much where you're like, this is my life?
So there's a scene where basically the kid that is the baker walks out on the job, and then the sous chef kind of walks out too in solidarity.
Yes.
And he ends up cooking him dinner, and he's like, this is amazing. And then she is in the kitchen eating the scraps, and then that's just like how it is. Like, we slave over making these beautiful dishes, and we're stuck with, you know, the scraps, those leftover ingredients. So
right, yeah, that's funny. So I mean, overall, would you would you say that this series is maybe like the most realistic show depicting restaurant life, or no?
I mean, there's definitely elements, and then it's a little far-fetched in some areas. You know, calling a dishwasher chef out of respect is kind of weird.
Yeah.
No.
Not in my kitchen. You're a dishwasher, bitch.
But I mean, it did hit the point. You know, I've worked fine dining. I've worked everything from quick service to fine dining, and you know, there was definitely some elements in there. And I hope that season 2, and they never ever do live up to the hype, but I hope you know, them opening up an actual full service restaurant will come to fruition.
Yeah, well, I mean, they did set it up, and for those of you guys didn't see it, so, and this is a spoiler, I guess, the restaurant starts off as the Beef. It's the original Beef, and the chef that takes over, his nickname is Bear, and then after a good fortune, they lucked into something to be able to rebrand the restaurant. Now the restaurant's going to be called The Bear, and they're going to basically rebrand it, rebuild it. And that's where I see the series going, and with the same intensity. But yeah, it seems like they got it set up pretty good. And so you're telling me you never told someone to fuck themselves so harshly in the kitchen where your eyeballs almost poked out of your head, or popped out of your head, I should say.
It's funny because like my crew knows that, like, I'm very slow to get to temper, but
Yeah.
once I lose my temper, it's like, get the fuck out of the way.
Yeah.
I mean, I've thrown dishes at people. I've definitely gone into the walk-in and thrown kegs, and it's not a proud moment.
Well,
I've definitely kicked people out of my kitchen.
it's definitely relatable for anyone who's worked in the restaurant industry, because there's something about, you know, the intensity and the energy that's there, and being pushed over the edge. You could do that easily. I mean, I've definitely dented a walk-in freezer or two during my time just like serving and just helping on the line just because of people. And so I relate to that, and I don't blame you for it.
Good.
Yeah.
I go to
He's like, you weren't there, bro. But all right.
You weren't there. Well, no, I don't work for you either. But if I was to work for you as a dishwasher, please call me chef. I mean, that's the only thing I got left in life. I know, you know.
Just want his dishwasher to watch the show and expect it now. He's like, no. That's not how this works.
Where's my coat?
Yeah,
right.
exactly.
That's funny. Well, I appreciate you calling in, Gary, and giving us a heads up. And I know Herb agrees with you. And now, Rico, you definitely got to check out The
curious.
Bear on Hulu.
Hell yeah.
Right on, guys. Have a
Take
good
care,
weekend.
Gary.
You too. We'll talk to you soon.
Bye, chef.
Yeah, perfect. Like right on cue.
Seriously.
Fantastic. Yeah, we're gonna have Gary. Gary, we're gonna have you in here soon too. Oh, he hung up. Because he has his knife fight coming up here.
Oh
soon.
yeah, the gut group. Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
which is-
Gastronomic Union of Tucson. Absolutely.
Yeah,
Good
it's so
group.
cool. So with this cooking competition, and again, I've seen some of the best, most creative dishes in my life being a judge at the finals of this. I mean, I saw them turn like ramen noodles into churros and things. It's just delicious stuff.
Yeah.
It's the first time I had Wagyu beef. You know, I couldn't afford it.
Your first time?
My first time I had Wagyu
Life-changing.
beef. Yeah, it's so good. So yeah, I look forward to being a judge of that knife fight each and every year, and it's going to be starting up here pretty soon. And we'll have Gary in studio. We'll meet the chefs. We're meeting chefs all next week as well for our Iron Chef finale with Chef Wendy, and then Chef Ken from Dante's Fire.
Nice.
Yes, and Dante's Fire has been killing it too. So you know, I'm excited to have Kenneth in.
And Wendy's from the Chic, right?
Yes,
Okay.
you know Chef Wendy.
That place is amazing.
Yes, so she's been doing great and blowing up, and she's the reigning champion. And Kenneth Foy, Chef Kenneth Foy from Dante's Fire, is now the finalist. It's going to go heads up against her, and you know it's going to be a culinary throwdown at Casino del Sol. So we're going to be getting amped up for that by having these chefs pop in through the show for the next 2 weeks before we take over Casino del Sol again. Hopefully, I'll make some money in the process, because last time, it came up on a few $100s. All right, let's get into this next thing. We're going to be talking about The Forgiven. All right, we got 3 seconds here. Rock 102.1 KFMA. We just touched base with Chef Gary on the podcast broadcast stream as we were talking about the FX show, The Bear, which was a show that gained hype after the entire season aired on FX. And it was only until they dropped on Hulu that people started watching and taking notice. And it just recently was renewed for a second season. So if you guys checked out The Bear on FX or on Hulu and you were fans of it, the good news is they will be back for a second season. Don't know when, but it will happen. Speaking of streaming services, there's a new project coming to which service? I'm talking about The Forgiven. Where's this dropping?
It's a movie, so it's just, it's on iTunes and wherever you consume that stuff. But I don't want to spend a lot of time on this one because it was sort of
Is it that bad?
Well, it's not that it's bad, because here's the thing. It's got a killer cast, right? Ralph Fiennes, Jessica Chastain, Matt Smith, right? So all solid actors.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a story that's set in Morocco. And basically there's a group of people that are headed to this party, right? And there's an accident on the road and a Moroccan boy gets injured. And so basically it's the aftermath of this incident. And so you've got the Moroccan people who are, poorer people who are sort of the victims in this situation. You have these sort of awful, wealthy, Westerners, right? And so you've got this sort of clash of what's going on. And, is there going to be some resolution to this issue? So you've got great cast, great acting, but they're horrible people. right? You know what I mean? Like, it's just like, you're like, a lot of times when you watch a movie, you want to relate to somebody, right? You want to see somebody, you're like, oh, okay, I can relate to that guy, or that's me, right?
Yeah.
There's nobody in this movie that you want to be like, you're not on anybody's side, because they're just all awful people. And it's not just not just the Westerners, like even the Moroccans, you're like, oh, they're kind of shady too.
Everybody's trash.
Yeah, so when you get done with this, you're kind of like, ew, I need to go take a shower. I don't feel like, you know what I mean? Like, all these people are terrible, and
there's not one person with redeemable qualities here in the Forgiven.
Not a single one.
No, one single person can be forgiven.
No,
in the Forgiven.
No,
wow.
and maybe that's the point. So if you want to see a dark movie, you're in a mood to be depressed, go ahead and check it out. But I was not a huge fan of this one. But it is a major release, again, with big stars. They spent a lot of money. And I don't know. I'm not a fan. But I do want to talk about another streaming thing that's on HBO Max, because I really feel like both you guys could be on this show.
No,
we own this thing, maybe.
See, this is the setup, but I'm not good looking enough there, Herb, but maybe Rico to be on F Boy Island.
F Boy Island?
Yeah. Unless the F stands for fat, and then sign me up.
That'd be a good show.
Yeah.
Fat Boy Island.
Fat Boy Island. You just get a bunch of fat people and say, all right, all you have to eat is coconuts. Try not to kill each other, fatties.
Oh, yeah. So F Boy Island. Okay, this is season 2. And it's like, I want to preface this, though. I don't watch a lot of dating shows because I'm just not interested.
Okay.
Right? Okay. So I don't watch The Bachelorette. I don't watch but occasionally, if something's got an interesting concept, like Love is Blind, I watch, because that's sort of cool, right? It's interesting to see how these people, fall in love with a voice, or they're meeting without ever meeting each other, right? Yeah. And then I watched, the one where you can't have sex. What was that one called? Too Hot to Handle, right?
Too Hot to
That
Handle.
was interesting.
Right.
So on a lark, I just sort of watched FY Island. So the story here is, you've got 3 hot women. Okay, you've got 24 dudes.
Right.
Okay,
all F boys.
12 of these guys are nice guys.
Oh,
okay.
Yeah.
12 of them are F boys.
Right.
Okay. So the girls have to figure out who's the F boy, who's the good guy, and then they have to pick somebody. If they pick an F boy, then there's $100,000 prize that goes all to the F boy, and they can walk away. So these guys are there to play. You know what I mean? Like, they're there to woo the woman and get the $100K. Or if it's a nice guy, they split the money with the nice guy. So it's sort of funny, because these girls, some of them, they know, right? It's just like forbidden fruit. They know the guy's an F boy. They can just tell.
Yeah.
But they can't help themselves. So, it's pretty entertaining. And Nikki Glaser is the host, and she's got a stand-up spot that's dropping, I think, next week. A stand-up show. Nikki Glaser is hysterical. She is one of the raunchiest female comedians. I mean, she is like Sarah Silverman. She's unbelievable. She's the host, so she's really funny.
Let me ask you this. There's a couple takeaways in this. If a nice guy ends up banging one of the contestants, does that not technically make him an F boy?
Right.
You're right. Technically he would be.
Right. And this would be the best way for the woman to find out whether or not she's talking to a nice guy or an F boy, is by basically laying down and being like, hey, you want to get it on? All right. If the guy says yes.
Trap.
Yeah, he's
It's
an
a
F
trap.
boy. Right.
Yeah, well, they don't have a chance to lay down until right at the end. So, so they definitely play this one over. So this is it's sort of a fun distraction. I'm just saying. And Rico, I got to tell you,
man,
you would fit in. I'm not saying you're an F boy. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying you look like you could compete.
That's hilarious.
He would want to be an F boy. He's been in the gym 2 times a day to get to F boy status. You know it.
I was thinking how funny the concept would be if they have the F boys trying to play nice guy and the nice guys trying to play F boys. They do. Okay.
They definitely. So all of the F boys are trying to pretend, oh no, I'm a nice guy, but they have the sort of behind the scenes interviews, right? Mm-hmm. So you as a viewer know.
Oh wait, so that is the point. Did I miss that? Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So they're trying to trick the women, and some of them aren't even trying to trick the women.
Yeah, exactly.
Because they know,
Here's the takeaway that I got from this that I think the show is kind of showcasing. It's that, good guys finish last. That's a stereotype.
That's why they last longer in bed.
No, in this situation, it just pays to be the F boy, just in life. Okay, so if the F boy wins, they get $100,000, right? Yeah. If the nice guy wins, he gets the girl and splits $100,000. So he gets $50,000. So, I mean, not only does he not get laid, he doesn't get paid. So
and then taxes. He gets screwed by Uncle Sam.
Right. So just better to be the F boy. So thanks for that lesson of the day, Herb. We're going to keep the conversation moving on the podcast broadcast. When we come back, your Friday edition of F My Lives. These F My Lives are so saucy that every single email that I got asked me to be anonymous, meaning they do not want their names revealed when I share this information. So F My Life coming up after Red Hot Chili Peppers on Rock 102.1 KFMA. Clear. All right. So am I even going to play Red Hot Chili Peppers? I don't know. Real quick, let me ask you this about, have you seen the Challenge USA? Have you watched it?
I watched the first episode. That's all they've done, right?
No, the second episode dropped on Thursday morning.
Okay. So no, I watched the first episode, and I have to tell you, so my takeaway from this, and you and I, because we speak this language.
Yes.
So my takeaway from this is I didn't care.
You didn't care?
I didn't care because I don't have the 20-year history with CT and Bananas and and even the people I hate on that show, like Wes, right?
Yes.
I'm just like, who are you people? And maybe if I watch Big Brother, maybe if I watched whatever the other shows they're drawn from, but I was just like, I've seen these challenges before. I've seen the show before. I love the real show. I'm down for the real show.
Yeah.
But I'm just not interested. It's like when they did the challenge versus the athletes, and it was Lolo Jones and all these other people, and I was just kind of like, bring back the other people. I want the other people.
I will say this, and yes, character development over years definitely helps the challenge and makes it what it is. All Stars is fun for that reason alone. Challenge USA is leading into this global challenge that they're going to do. And I've noticed in the teasers that they've shown shots of like CT and whatnot. So I believe once we get past, and it's just a theory, I haven't read anything about this, that once we get past this initial Challenge USA of weeding out all the weak challengers from the reality shows on CBS that are all stars and the characters and casts that you've grown to love will be returning to compete on the global stage against other regions as well. That's my theory.
I think you might have something there because there is a built-in audience. There's all of us, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And I think that they know those guys are global stars anyway. So you may be right. I don't know if it's going to be a lot of them, but I bet they slip 2 to 3 of them in there.
No, they definitely will. And I'll say after watching the second episode, because the first episode, I think I was with you on that, but then you see a couple of these kind of breakout stars, because at the end of the day, it really comes down to strong competitors and personalities.
Yeah.
And the challenge is doing what they can to reinvent the wheel and be innovative. So I've seen now some new challenges I haven't seen before. The first episode, they essentially bust out the greatest hits.
Yeah.
Be like, this is what we're about. Second episode, they busted some new things. Here's a new idea. Here's a new challenge. Here's a new style of elimination. And it was great. And there were some upsets and there was some drama. And so it made it enjoyable. I'm looking forward to seeing how this season develops.
All right, I'll give the second episode a watch. I'm actually looking forward to the documentary that they did about the history of the challenge, which they have not announced a release date for yet. But that's something I'm super interested in because with 36 seasons and 500 episodes, it's
how many lawsuits?
How many near deaths? How many deaths?
Yeah,
right? There's at least 2 or 3 people that have died. So
not while competing, but died from overdoses after the show. Yeah.
So
that's how extreme the challenge is. We're like basically a couple years away from full blown Squid Games when it comes to the challenge.
No joke.
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
it's gonna happen.
You're getting there, and that's gonna be fantastic.
Sponsored by Bud Light.
Yeah, sponsored by Bud Light. All right. Earlier this morning, we talked about why you should never use the checkout. It was a terrible segment. In case you missed it, Vegan presents. I came across this woman on TikTok just the other day. She has like 1.2 million viewers or subscribers, and she's a lawyer. And she said that you should never use a self-checkout. Rico, you ever do the self-checkout?
Very rarely, honestly. I don't like it.
Yeah. Well, why don't you like it?
It just seems soulless.
Okay.
I like to communicate with people still.
Yeah, I feel like I'm paying extra for the service.
I'm doing the work. Exactly.
Yeah. Why am I doing the work? Where's my discount? Well, the thing is with the self-checkout is a lot of people get tempted to graze and they can get caught. But the reason why this lawyer says you should never use the self-checkout ever is because you could be falsely accused of shoplifting. Or there'd be some kind of misunderstanding. And, you can go through a long legal process and even end up in jail. This lawyer noted that she's seen people spend thousands of dollars hiring a lawyer to go through grainy video footage to try to determine whether or not they bought the items they were supposed to buy during the self-checkout. So the best case scenario or the best advice you can give is just to avoid the self-checkout altogether. Now, the reason why I'm bringing this up is because a woman in Tucson had a very this exact scenario happened to her.
Really?
Yeah, this happened in January at Walmart. Now, I don't know her name, but she's in her 60s, and she forgot to scan some items. Now, we've all forgot to scan some items in a self-checkout.
Yeah, I know it happens.
I get it. Well, she was cited for petty theft. 62 other people were cited and released by police at the same Tucson Walmart between January and April. So January 2021 and April 2022. So I got to figure out which Walmart this is and avoid it. But yeah. So like I said, she got cited for it. She's going through the whole legal process, and petty theft, she maybe forgot to scan like $4 or $5 worth of items at Walmart.
How dare she?
I know. So like I said, the lawyer on TikTok, pretty much saw this coming and said, hey, don't use that self-checkout, and especially at Walmart. So I guess let that be the lesson of the day. If you're going to any of these places, make sure you use the cashiers and just pay for everything that you grab, and don't use the self-checkout just in case. Sometimes you forget, sometimes I forget to ring up that case of water when I'm going through the grocery store and self-checkout every time.
Yeah, I'm not going to get arrested over mayonnaise. Not today, bro. No, thanks.
Exactly. All right, let's hit the reset. We come back. We got your first round of F My Life on this Friday. I say first rounds because we're going to do another round at 9 o'clock as well with Herb Stratford, because I have so many F My Lives to get to. My email inbox has been flooded. You still have time to get your F My Lives in right now at beefvegan at KFMA.com. So your F My Lives coming up next on Beef Vegan Presents. Don't go away. We're live. I just did a tease, and there you go. That's F My Life. Getting ready for our final F My Life, so we wrap things up here. There's a couple things that I missed. Might as well touch on. Let's see what our final comments were for the post that I asked about dating red flags. There's some good ones that were shared, and I think that's appropriate going into F My Life. Let's see, 30 comments so far. So thank you for everyone who commented. Yeah. Oh, it's like mini viral.
Mini viral.
Yeah.
Right.
Breathing, speaking, just get away from me. All right. James wrote, these girls be lying. Their real deal breaker is any guy shorter than 5'10". That's true.
Yep.
Yeah. Herb's tall, so he knows.
Hey, yo. Yeah. Yes. I was at 6'5" at my peak. I'm down to 6'4" now. So.
Nice. That reminds me. Fuck you. All right. Rusty wrote, dogs and vegans. That's the red flag. Because the question again was, what are the deal breakers when it comes to dating profiles? So dogs. Luke wrote, full-time mommy. That's a deal breaker. I can see that as a red flag. That means you got baby mama drama or baby daddy drama, or you're being dependent on, child support. And if you're a full-time mom, for one kid, you're just lazy. And for 3 kids, you know what? You made your decision. You should.
Well, you got no time. You know what I mean? You got no time for a man.
It's understandable. Yeah. Right. Let's see. And a couple things. Yeah. We talked about the Dallas Cowboys thing, peanut allergy. Manny wrote that.
That's pretty specific.
Jay wrote, listens to 102.1. I'll give that a ha. Very funny. But I'm telling you, chicks that listen to this station are freaks.
So many face tattoos.
Yeah, you're missing out there, Jay. All right. And a ridiculous amount of selfies already covered. So those were some of those comments. I'm sure we'll get some more over the weekend. And a couple people be like, man, I remember when this station used to be cool.
I know.
Now you're asking about like real life relatable shit. Fuck you, man.
I'm out. Used to play Avril.
Yeah, we did.
Skater boy.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. You want some more Skater Boy?
Is that what you want?
Yeah. Now, you know what I should do is just like slide into all these trolls DMs with the video Skater Boy.
That's your new thing.
Yeah.
You're the new Marvel supervillain. What does he do?
He trolls.
Yeah, trolls everywhere. Yeah, because you know what? I fight trolls with trolling.
Right.
I definitely know the art of the troll. I've done it many times, and I think I'm going to have to do it again for these fuck faces. Throw Nickelback in the equation. Like coming up this weekend, it's all Nickelback weekend. Because we heard your demands, and you want what rocks, Tucson. So Nickelback all day long,
all day, every day.
Yeah, and watch them just freak the fuck out.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Some things that we missed here on my sheet. Let's see. There's a woman says her date refused to pay for food since there was no sex. How do you know this beforehand, though?
Right.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
You go in, first off, every girl's going to tell you they don't sleep around on the first date. And then some of them fib. So, I mean, it's been one of those situations. Like, I don't normally do this.
I know.
I know. Neither do I, girl. It's all good.
Do this.
Yeah. Let's see. Iguanas have been popping up in toilets all over the place. Oh, I gotta talk about this. This is fucked up. I only have 45 seconds. Yeah, that's another bullshit story. But the story that I wanted to say, I only got 40 seconds. Here's the headline: Elon Musk's father, says he has a second child with his 35-year-old stepdaughter.
Yeah,
who he's raised since the age of 4. Yeah, and he refuses to live with them because the kids start to get on his nerves because he's 76 years old. It's like, fuck these kids. It's like, they're your kids. You're your own step kid. They're your very own step grandkid, but it's your kid. That's how fucked up Elon Musk family is. Now, Elon was pissed when he found this out, but this is essentially super grooming. It's super gross. Yeah. And there was a quote here that I wanted to share, but we ran out of time. Like that for a tease. More to come. Yeah, more to come. Just Google Elon Musk is dad and then just read that tea because it's drama. All right, let's get into your F My Life before we wrap things up on this Friday morning. Let's go.
Did you get caught self-loving by your mom?
Awkward. It is awkward.
Did you do something that got you fired from your job?
I just get stupid.
It's fun being stupid.
Don't hide this in vain. Let us laugh at your pain. Call 600 KFMA right away.
I promise we won't embarrass you.
Because Beef Vegan presents F My Life. F My Life. F My Life.
Yes, it's time for another round of F My Life. These are unfortunate situations emailed to me at beefvegan@kfma.com, and every one of these emails asks to remain anonymous, and you'll see why. Herb and Rico are going to weigh in on the F My Life, weigh in and say either yes, their life is effed, or they're just being a big baby about it. Here's our first emails. They wrote, today I found out that my wife is seeing a marriage counselor with her ex.
What?
Yes. Today, he found out that his wife is currently seeing a marriage counselor. Like, she's getting marriage counseling with her ex-husband.
Okay.
F My Life.
Yeah.
All right. Rico says yes. Herb?
Based on the last thing that we just teased, I'm saying a baby.
Okay. In comparison.
Be a lot worse.
All right. Yeah. Your life could be more effed. All right.
Practicing. Yeah.
All right. Next F My Life situation. They wrote, today I jokingly asked my boyfriend of 1 year, why is someone as smart, funny, and as handsome as you with someone like me? He replied, opposites attract.
Oh,
burn. F My Life, Herb.
No, it's just a good burn.
Yeah, it's a good burn. All right, what do you say, Rico?
Yeah, that's a mega Chad move.
Yeah.
Good baby. Hell yeah.
Congratulations for landing a mega chat. All right. Next F My Life situation. Today, my girlfriend texted me for the first time in months. Halfway through reading it, I was getting kind of hot. Then I found a spelling mistake, and all I could think to do was correct her. She won't talk to me anymore. F My Life, Rico.
Oh, God, yes. That's just, yeah.
You're like, you're
How
apostrophe R-E.
I know.
Gonna ride this.
They're possessive EI. Okay. You dummy.
Is that an F My Life, Herb?
Yeah, F My Life. I totally get that. You get distracted by something, and you're like, I'm out.
Yes.
I'm done.
You C-blocked yourself by being a grammar nerd.
Yeah, exactly.
All right.
Seinfeld episode right there.
2 more left here. Actually, Mark. Mark gave me the name on this one, which I think he should have been anonymous. And if you wanted to be anonymous, I apologize, Mark. Today, I took my girlfriend to a nice restaurant for our anniversary. Midway through the meal, a guy at the table across left for the restroom. My girlfriend then reached over and swiped the guy's wallet from the table. My gonads went AWOL, and I couldn't even bring myself to call her out on it. So basically, Mark's girlfriend just stole some dude's wallet right in front of him, and he had to act like nothing happened. He's an accessory now. Is that an F My Life, Herb?
F My Life.
Yeah. Yeah. What do you say, Rico?
You're dating Catwoman now. That's amazing.
I say big baby if she paid for dinner. Yeah. All right. Final F My Life of the day. And we're going to wrap up the show. This email was sent to me, and they just want to be anonymous because they feel like an idiot. They said, today I bought a new $10,000 car since my old one broke down. Today, I also found out that the old one wasn't starting because I never had it in park. There you have it, your F My Lives. Keep them coming and be vegan at KFMA.com. I'd like to thank Herb Stratford for coming in, hanging out with us, giving us all the lowdown on the movies coming out to the theaters this weekend. And we'll see you again next Friday, Herb. Right. Rico, thank you as well.
Yes,
you guys have a great weekend. Next week, all week long, we're going to be giving away tickets for Incubus and playing a bunch of fun games. Plus, we'll have so many guests stop by, you'll think it's just a party every single morning. And it will be. All right. Till then, Riley's up next. Enjoy the rest of your day. Drive safe, ride safe, and as always, rock local. Later. What? Come on, Batman. Get off my rock local.
Wish upon a side of beef, soon will come.
Thanks, guys.
And to all your grief. But if you've been mean or kind of bad, I will knock out all your teeth.
It's sad when I get to talk about the boy.